Today is a very special day for me, and that's because we're making my very first potted chili for the fall season. It doesn't take much more than a cold breeze of air to hit me and I start craving a big bowl of chili, and that's exactly what's on the menu today. It's packed with delicious ingredients. You're gonna love it. Very simple stuff that you can find in your pantry or your refrigerator. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen.
That's cinnamon.
With the sour cream?
Yeah.
Sour cream on Fritos might be a new dipping situation.
First things first, let's take a look at all of these ingredients. Again, we're keeping it nice and simple. Mostly things that you can find in your refrigerator, freezer, or pantry. Here we have the value pack of ground beef that we got on sale. We have some cheddar cheese and sour cream that we're going to top everything with. Getting the party started with some bacon. We're going to fry the bacon and use that bacon fat as flavor, as the foundation of flavor for the chili that we're making today. Got to have some cumin. One of my secret ingredients is cinnamon. We also have some diced tomatoes, tomato paste. We're going to use another secret ingredient that I'm going to show you guys is a can of tomato soup. We got bell pepper, onion, jalapeno. Got to have our black beans, garlic. One of the stars of the show, which is this chipotles and adobo. I absolutely love this stuff. It's going to add a nice smoky element to the chili as well. Speaking of smoky, we got smoked paprika, chili powder, and some worst word in the world sauce. All right, guys, usually the toughest part about cooking is all of the prep work, and that's why I like to get mine done out of the way up front, and then we just flow through the rest of the recipe. One of the pro tips I'm going to give you guys today, I think I learned this from Rachel Ray back in the 90s, is to have a little bowl that's going to act as our trash can as we prep our veggies. So that way you don't have to keep running back and forth, and everything is all in one spot. So we're going to go ahead and dice our onion. I like to leave the root intact for that. So we're just going to go ahead and make slices in one direction like you see right here. Then make a pass through the middle. Protect your fingers so you got some diced onion. We're using one whole onion, red and green bell pepper, a little jalapeno. So for me, with my chili, I like to have a perfect blend of sweet, spicy, and savory. So the spicy elements are going to come from the jalapeno and the chipotles and adobo, which are basically, you know, smoked jalapenos as well. So nothing spicier than a jalapeno in this recipe. If you want to get crazy, you can go habanero, serrano chilies. There's a bunch of different options out there for you crazy folks that like it extra spicy. But me, I like to keep it simple. Little background heat on the finish is what I'm looking for. And I don't want to burn my mouth off when I'm enjoying my bowl of chili. So one jalapeno and one can of chipotles and adobo are going to bring plenty of heat to the party.
And today's episode is sponsored by Bombas. Bombas is a comfort-focused premium brand with a mission to help those in need. And the founders set out to solve that problem by making the things that you wear feel good while doing good. With that being said, one of the things I like most about this company is anytime you buy a pair of socks, you also donate a pair of socks. What I love most about this brand is not only are the socks incredibly comfortable, but you're also doing good while feeling good because every purchase equals one donation with over 100 million donations total. And the reason everything is so comfortable is because they spent over 2 years in research and development, making sure they have the most comfortable clothes and highly durable items. Every Bombas item is designed for comfort. That means socks designed without any annoying toe seams like these ones I have on today, tees without itchy tags, and underwear with minimized seams for all-day comfort. I'm a big fan of Bombas. I wear their t-shirts all the time and their socks now. I haven't tried the underwear yet, but that's next on the list. We'll refrain from showing you that clip. And Bombas believes in their products so much they have a 100% happiness guarantee. That means free returns and exchanges, even in the event your dog eats your sock, which is a real thing. I'm a big fan of Bombas, and I think you'll like them too. You can feel good and do good with Bombas, knowing your purchase is doing some real good in the world. New customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/makeithappen. Code MakeItHappen20 for 20% off at checkout.
Or just enough heat for me. Feel free to call me a punk in the comments if you need to. All right, so we got our onions, bell peppers, and jalapeno prepped. All right, guys, the key to any recipe like a chili or anything kind of rustic or hearty is you got to have a banged up pot. This pot has been through about 10, 12 years of damage. You can see it's got some got some chips in it. Very important. It's going to make the chili taste good. So we're going to go down with about 5 slices of thick cut bacon. And we're gonna let this render. We want that fat to render out of the chili. Out into the chili. Now, if you're one of those folks that don't like pork, then use beef bacon. You're making a beef chili, beef bacon makes sense. But for me, I have this in the fridge, and that's what we're gonna use today. All right, guys, one of the most critical steps here is to make sure that the ground beef gets a little bit of texture. So you want to flatten it out, make sure it's making maximum surface area contact with the bottom of the skillet. That's going to ensure we get a couple things. We're going to have flavor, texture, and color on the ground beef, and that's important. So we're going to go ahead and flatten it out like you saw, and then we're going to use the spatula to break it up. Once you start to see it turning colors, it means it's probably about time to flip it over and cook it on the other side. You kind of take a peek at it. You just want to get a little bit of crust developed. Very important. There's a little excess fat in here as well from the pork fat and the beef fat kind of rendering. We're going to go ahead and use a paper towel to remove some of that. So don't worry about that. We're not going to have a super greasy chili. But that pork fat's going to add a lot of flavor to this chili as well. So we're going to let it do its job, and any excess we'll just remove it. So at this point, this is when you want to add your peppers and your onions. Now that we remove the excess fat or grease, whatever you want to call it, we're going to start seasoning our chili. So we'll get the party started with a good tablespoon of cumin. Very traditional in chili. If you get the little chili packets that you buy that are already kind of pre-packaged, it's heavy on cumin and chili powder, obviously. So those are the first two ingredients we're going in with. Tablespoon of each. May even end up adding 2 tablespoons of the chili powder, but I'm going to blend up the chipotles and adobo, which also have some of those ingredients in there, and that's going to give us a lot of that flavor as well. So I'm not going to go too heavy on the dry spices. A good tablespoon of dried oregano, a couple teaspoons of smoked paprika. Again, get a lot of smokiness from the chipotles and adobo, so we're going to let that do most of the heavy lifting. We just still want to get that flavor in there as well. I like to add a little bouillon powder, has some MSG, a little flavor enhancer to give you that nice pop of flavor as you bite into the chili. Tablespoon of worst word in the world sauce as well. This is going to add some umami. Just layer in the flavors in there, that's the goal. 2 tablespoons of garlic. You can use fresh, you can use garlic paste, minced garlic, whatever you got at your disposal, whatever's in the fridge or pantry. Next, we're going in with a 1/4 cup of good quality tomato paste. Really get that in there. Now, one of my secret ingredients in my chili, I always add it to my chili, is cinnamon. I'm using cinnamon sugar today because we have a lot of spice in this recipe, and that sugar is going to kind of balance some of that out. So we're going in with a good tablespoon of that too. Immediately it's smelling good in here. You can smell the cinnamon, you can smell the garlic, you can smell that chili paste, or chili powder I should say. And if you just look in here, you can see the flavors are developing. I'm going to let this kind of toast and really come together and wake everything up before we deglaze with our beef broth. All right, we got some beautiful fond developing here at the bottom of our Dutch oven. And then we're going in with the pureed chipotles and adobo. We're going to get that in there, give it a mix, and then we're going to deglaze with our beef broth. I also sometimes like to use like a Mexican beer or a lager for this too to deglaze. But I tend to cook with a lot of alcohol and I get some comments. So I'm going to keep it simple today and just use a little beef broth. Save the beer for drinking today. I forgot to add the peppers and the onions. So we went ahead and sauteed them in our skillet. And then we're going straight on into our chili. No big deal. Simple mistake, very easy to fix. We're going to go ahead and fold our sauteed peppers and onions on into our chili. And then we're going to add our beans that we strained. I have kidney beans and black beans. You can use all kidney if you like. They have dark red, light red, really whatever beans you like, guys. You can go ahead and add that to your chili. That's one of the beauties of chili is you can kind of just use what you have at your disposal. We're going to go ahead and fold those beans in. Then I have 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes that we're going to add to the party. And then one of my secret ingredients, Campbell's tomato soup. I like the tomato soup instead of like a tomato puree or tomato sauce. It just has a little creamier texture. I kind of grew up eating this a lot. So this with a grilled cheese sandwich was my lunch or dinner very frequently as a child. So I'm kind of partial to the can of Campbell's tomato soup, and I've been adding it to my chili since I started making chili. And I think it does make a little bit of a difference. So if you haven't tried it yet, definitely give it a try. We're gonna go ahead and mix all of this in, give it a little seasoning, taste it real quick, and then we're gonna let that simmer for about 2 hours on low. All right, people, I know you've heard of a taco bar, but let me introduce you to the chili bar. Next time you have a party or anything, we have guests over at the house and it's cold outside, you wanna have a little comfort food, make this chili recipe and you can set it up and let them plate it however they want to. You can serve it with cornbread, fried onions, rice, or Fritos like we're doing today. I like to use the scoops. They're not a sponsor, but they're perfect for this chili recipe. First things first though, we gotta go ahead and shred this cheese. I like to add sour cream. You can have jalapeno station. All of this stuff can be at your little chili station and let them kind of build their own chili bowl. And again, you can serve it with rice. You can serve it with cornbread. Can't go wrong. You can even get little Dorito bags or Frito bags and make Frito pie. Bunch of different ways you can spin this. You can use this chili. It freezes really well. You can use it for nachos as well. Can't go wrong. All right, so towards the last, 15, 20 minutes or so, we're gonna add back in the bacon from earlier. Just give that a good mix. Then we're gonna taste for seasoning. You can adjust the sweetness by adding a little brown sugar if it's too spicy, maybe even a little honey. If it's not spicy enough, you can hit it with some red pepper flakes, cayenne, or hot sauce. If you need to add some more salt, obviously you know what to do with that. But this should be just about spot on. Get in there with the ladle, give you guys a nice little scoop shot. That looks like chili to me. Today we're serving this up with some rice, little Frito chips, the scoops. But it's great with cornbread as well. Even better the next day. Perfect fall comfort food meal here. Let me know in the comments your favorite version of chili. I've done a short rib chili on this channel. I've done a smoked oxtail chili for Instagram. I might gotta bring that out this winter. But you can't go wrong with a good pot of chili. All right, people, we're loading this up with all the fixings. We got cheese, we got sour cream, chives, white rice, and Fritos, the scoops. This is the part where I say, brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. The only thing left to do is grab my spoon and dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, first things first. Let's get in there with a scoop. I like to mix my sour cream in there. Oh, man. Chili season officially started. I'm trying to think what I want to say. It hit me and I start craving a big bowl of chili. Today's a very special day for me, and that's because we're making, today's a very special day for me. Which camera am I should be looking at the bottom camera, right?